Hi all, it's Miss O here, and I have some very exciting news for you. When you come to the class, you're gonna get a special materials bin just for you. And it's gonna have your number on here. I'm gonna tell everybody what their number is when they come to school. And let's explore what's inside the box. So this is gonna be called your red book box. But it also has your pencil box in it. Okay, so let's go through what's in the pencil box first. So whenever you're opening the pencil box, you open it up quietly, and inside there's a pack of crayons just for you. And how many crayons are there? 24. Wow, that's way more than just the basic rainbow colors. So when you open your crayon box, you're gonna open it up quietly and you're gonna notice all these are super sharp. And I just want you to try taking out one crayon at a time. So if you want to use the pink crayon, you're going to hold it, color with it, and then put it right back in the box, down, facing down, with the tip up. And you're going to lightly find its spot, and then you're going to grab the next color. You're going to use it, and then put it back in its spot. Really nicely so that you see it like this, and so that way you don't have a big mess of crayons all over the place that you have to clean up later. It's important to clean up as we go, all right? And then when you're done with the box, done using your crayons, you fold the lid in, you close it, and this little part goes in there like that. And then you put it back. And if you want to use the colored pencils instead, you can use those in the same way. Just pull out one at a time. Open up the box lid. Notice how just like the crayons, they're all facing out like that. So you're gonna just choose one. You might need to shake the bottom a little bit so they're all coming out. Choose the color you want. Let's say I want light green. I'm gonna use the color pencil. I'm not gonna press too hard on it because I don't want it to break. And I'm gonna put it back. Now, if one of these breaks while you're using it and you can't use it any longer, just go ahead and use a crayon instead. I'm not gonna be able to sharpen it right when you need help sharpening, but you can raise your hand and tell me if you need me to sharpen something if I'm not busy. But if I'm working with a group of kids, just wait until later to tell me that you need to sharpen a pencil, okay? And same goes for this. Also, if we're using glue, only have this out if we're using glue, but we need to make sure that the cap gets all the way on it at the end and that you hear that click sound. And please do not screw up and down this little part unless it's starting to get low right here. But if it starts to get low, you can push it up just a little bit. But if you push it all the way up, it's probably gonna break. So I only wanna give you one glue stick. And so I want you to try to use this, just this one, for the end of the year. We also have a whiteboard marker, and you have a whiteboard in your bin, just like you do at home. Make sure that you're putting the cap, I like to call this the hat, on the back of the marker, just like this. You should hear that click. And then when you're using it, all is well, and we're always doing our personal best when we use our whiteboard and whiteboard markers. We don't use these to draw or color. We just use them for math and spelling, writing. And then we can use this eraser to wipe it off and erase. Okay, this will be in your pencil box too. And then when you're done using the whiteboard marker, it's really important that you hear that click sound. Okay, awesome. So this is what should be in your pencil box. Pencils, crayons, normal pencil, eraser, whiteboard eraser, and glue, okay? And if you aren't using any of these in a respectful way, then I am going to take them from you, and you'll lose your privileges with them for the day. And then make sure it's all the way closed. And it can go back in here when you're done using it. Also, you're gonna have some books in here, books at your level, that you're going to be able to read when I say it's reading time. And some of them are going to be books that you recognize from before, and some of them are going to be new books. And there's going to be a few more books in there too. Each time you'll have about 5 or 6 books to look through. And then in your cubbies, in your little cubbies, you're gonna have your very own Play-Doh. It's gonna say your number at the top. And just make sure when you open that Play-Doh that you put your lid in a safe place so you know you're not gonna lose it right in front of you. Then you can play with the Play-Doh. Make sure you're not putting it on the carpet. Make sure you're just playing with the Play-Doh on your own surface, okay? And only you are gonna touch your Play-Doh, okay? And sometimes if you just need a little break and you wanna just feel the Play-Doh in between your hands, that's fine too. You can just feel the Play-Doh. And then you put it back. Make sure it gets all the way in there. I don't want any little pieces around your desk. Make sure it gets all in here. And then the lid needs to be clicked all the way tight. That way it will stay fresh and not dry out, okay? And then when you're done with this, it goes back into your little cubby. Also, in your other bigger cubby, nearby your little cubby, are some markers. Now, I will let you know when you can get these markers out, but same thing as with the whiteboard markers. When you're using a marker, I only want you to take out one at a time. You're gonna take the cap out, you're gonna put it on the back, okay, like it wears a little hat. You can color with it, make sure we're coloring in the lines, and then you put it right back on here, and you make sure you hear that click. Click all the way down, okay? And then the marker goes right back where you found it. It doesn't have to be in perfect order, but just make sure it gets all the way back, and then it's closed. You also have your very own clipboard. Now, clipboard is for writing time if you want to write on the carpet. And this can be really dangerous. If I hear people going like this a lot, I'm gonna have to take the clipboard away because this can be dangerous if you get your finger underneath it. It would really, really hurt. So we open it up very gently and quietly, and we put the paper that we're working on in there, like this, okay? Or we can just not use the clip at all, and we can use it upside down. Or just not use the clip and put the paper underneath it, okay? And then when you're done with the clipboard, that also goes back in your cubby. And lastly, how do we use scissors? These scissors are only gonna come out when we're doing projects that need cutting, which is not every day. So I'm gonna keep them in my own special basket. And if you need scissors for an art project, you can ask me. All right, so it's really important that whenever we're using scissors, our thumb goes in this smaller part, and then our other two fingers go in the bigger part. And we go up and down like this with our paper, but then all scissors should always be face down if we're carrying them or if we're holding them, and we should never leave them open on the desk. They always remain closed and they remain face down. We have to be really, really, really careful with scissors because these can be dangerous, and if you're not using them correctly, I will take them away and you won't get to use them for the rest of the day. Okay, so let's be super, super safe with all of our supplies, super respectful. We are so lucky to be able to have all of these things, and we really want to take good care of them, okay? And I'll remind you and give you lots of reminders during class, but I wanted you to be familiar for our very first day of school on all of the supplies that are going to be yours and how to take care of them, okay? I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys in person.